Using backhoes, boats, and buckets, crews are working to safely remove thousands of dead birds from local waterways and water sources as they warn the public to stay away. Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
City of Lubbock crews discovered thousands of dead geese near a water treatment plant. And tonight, the city says your water is safe.
KCBD News Channel 11's investigative reporter Shaylee Kidwell shows us the cleanup and what you need to know.
Crews in protective gear removed thousands of dead geese from reservoirs near the North Lubbock water treatment plant. As we reported last month, Lubbock Public Health confirmed positive cases of avian flu, which raised concerns about the city's water supply. The city sent KCBD Investigates a statement. It says water treatment and testing meet EPA and TCEQ standards. The city says there's no public health threat. Dr. Catherine Wells directs Lubbock Public Health. She says biologists recommended burying the geese on site.
And it's just better to put them on, keep them on the property that will be, covered in lime and at least 3 feet of dirt when it's done, and then it will be marked for any future reference.
Wells says the number of dead geese is alarming.
And, we're really seeing a large number of birds infected and a lot more birds than we've ever seen really before.
Wells wants everyone to call Lubbock Animal Services if they see a sick or injured bird. Health officials say anyone handling birds must wear protective gear to avoid transmission. If you've handled a bird and become sick, watch for these symptoms.
Fever, cough, runny nose. The one thing with bird flu is we also look for conjunctivitis or pink eye.
It's not just geese. We've also reported on dead doves around town. Lubbock Animal Services believes they died from the recent extreme cold, but it's safest to call that department to have them removed. There are no known human cases of avian flu in Lubbock, and Wells hopes to keep it that way. Shaylee Kidwell, KCBD Investigates.